Hello there, Vanagon addicts. It's Ken Wilford here at Van again, and I want to talk about getting shipments from Europe. Okay, getting shipments from Europe. Sometimes people call me, they're like, Ken, I need this part. I'm like, okay, here's how much it is. And they're like, I can buy it from Europe myself. And why should I get it from you? I mean, that's a good question. It's valid questions. And there are websites out there where you can buy things and get them. But I will tell you some of the downsides. One of the big one would be the shipping cost. Okay, so shipping costs have went up a lot. When you're getting just one or two small items or a shipment that's under $500 in value, it's really not worth it, in my opinion, to try to do that yourself, just because of how much the shipping is going to cost versus how much the parts are going to cost. I understand, a lot of times people want something yesterday and they can't wait, but really they're getting destroyed on their shipping costs. And then even on top of that, there are duties and customs costs, which sometimes you don't know about until a month later. You'll get a bill, and now there's another $50, $100 added on top. On top of all of that, there's a couple of vendors I've ran into recently who have decided to do a $70 charge for doing paperwork for you on their end. So in other words, they're in Germany, this one particular vendor, they're in Germany, and they are like, yes, you can buy from us online. So you go to their website, you buy everything that you want, put it in your cart, buy it, pay for it. And then they're like, oh, by the way, there's a $70 charge for us to do the customs paperwork for you. And if you don't pay that, then you'll never be able to buy from us again. I guess you could just never pay it, but sometimes they hold your thing hostage until you pay this kind of hidden fee. And then I even did an order over $1,000, and I got charged even more on top of that. Oh, over $1,000, another 20-something dollar fee. It's like, do you even want to do business overseas, or don't you? And the super ironic part is doing the customs paperwork. I don't know, it takes you like 2 minutes. It's not even hard once you've done it a bunch of times. All right, so one downside is that, like I just mentioned, where you are, paying exorbitant shipping fees. Then the next downside would be getting a shipment that's damaged, getting a shipment that's the wrong thing that you don't want. Okay, so this is a shipment I just got. Getting a shipment that's damaged and shipping. I mean, thankfully this one didn't get damaged, but I will tell you there's been lots and lots of them that have gotten damaged, that when I get it, half the stuff is missing, half the stuff is broken. And then you have to go through, all the stuff of dealing with that. Okay, so, when you buy from us, when you buy from maybe another vendor who has, brought stuff over, they're kind of insulating you from all of these hassles. And it's definitely something to think about. So, I've dealt with shipments that, like I said, a lot of stuff got missing, damaged. Half the shipment, like say it's like multiple boxes. The other box is missing. All that fun stuff. So definitely stuff that you don't want to have to deal with as an end user. You can just contact us if you don't see it on our website. You say, hey, I see it on this other website. You guys, buy from them. We can get stuff for you guys that way. That should. I mean, it'll definitely once it leaves us to you, all that stuff is taken care of. Okay, so we've talked about our shipping issues. We've talked about the issues with the cost of shipping. We talked about the complications of a broken shipment or stuff inside being broken. The third real negative is the duties and customs. Okay, so again, these things should be not a big deal, but they can become a big deal. And so I get a phone call or an email from customs, from FedEx, asking me all kinds of questions. Where is the item made? What country is it made? What materials it made out of? What just all kinds of different questions about the product. How big is it? How many millimeters is it? How many inches is it? All these questions, because when they're filling out the customs paperwork, they have to put the stuff in, and depending on how good of an agent it is, depends on if they actually know how to do their job. And just to be honest with you, that is just all over the place. Like, we have ran into customs agents that were amazing. They just did their job really quickly and get you your stuff real fast and very effortless on your part. And then you run to the other ones. The ones that not only do they not know how to do their job as a customs agent, I mean, they don't even know anything about anything. I mean, it's gotten so bad. One time, we even had this one lady that I felt like I was actually training her myself. She was asking me very rudimentary questions like, how much is a euro to a dollar? How much value is that? Like, so in other words, how do you convert euros to dollars in value? And I'm sitting there going, didn't they train you to do this job? I mean, I went back and forth with her via phone calls, text messages, emails. I mean, I went back and forth with her probably 20 times, 30 times. And a lot of her questions were just so rudimentary. What is this? Is this a car part? Just all kinds of questions like that. And she didn't know what car parts were. She didn't know what the different countries in Europe were. She just really didn't know anything. And I just felt like I was training her. I felt like at the end of our interaction, I should have been sending a bill to FedEx. That's who it was, actually, by the way. I felt like I was sending a bill to FedEx for, my time to train their personnel. So, you may have that happen. Okay, you may have that happen where you're trying to deal with customs people that just don't know anything, and they're just asking you 6 million questions. The super ironical part is that you get all this paperwork gets filled out on the end of the company that's sending you the stuff, because they don't want their stuff lost in customs, so they fill out all this paperwork. They put it with the package. Okay, it's on the outside of the package. It's on the inside of the package. I'm sure they send it digitally, because we do that also when we do these. And yet, for some odd reason, the customs brokers can't access any of this information, and they have to get all this information again from you, the end person, before they're going to release it to come into the U.S. I mean, why would anyone in their right mind want to deal with all this stuff if they don't have to? I mean, I wish I didn't have to deal with it, but you're seeing this shipment here I got here. This is $2,000 worth of stuff, okay, that I needed to get to restock. This is my business. If you're just a regular person, why deal with any of this? Instead, buy from us. We've already went through all this rigmarole. Buy from, somebody else who's already got it here in the U.S. If you don't see it on our site, go ahead and ask us. We will be glad to try to track it down for you. Because sometimes that's how we start carrying stuff, too. People contact us like, hey, what about this? Have you ever thought about carrying this? And I'm like, let me look into it. And next thing you know, we're carrying it. Okay, so, and usually when we get stuff from overseas, I mean, again, it can be 2 weeks, it can be a month if they really jam us up for no reason, or it can just be a couple of days. I ordered this last week, towards the end of the week, and this week it's here by Tuesday. That's what it's supposed to be when everything goes smooth. So, this is just a little taste of what it's like to get a big package from Europe. It's always fun. It's always Christmas whenever you get this stuff. But it's also can be very, very nerve-wracking, okay? And I mean, I have had shipments that were $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 that got stuck in customs for months and months, didn't show up for months and months. And I mean, you want to talk about just pulling your hair out. That's the way it is, because, you know, again, that's all your money. It's just tied up, and you know, the agents are just asking you the same questions over and over and over, and you're like, what is wrong with you? And then sometimes it goes through customs. I had one shipment that went through customs in Memphis, got to the end where it was processed through customs and cleared, and then they lost it after they processed it through customs. It was a pallet. It was an entire pallet of stuff. So then they're asking me, what does the pallet look like? I'm like, it's a pallet with a big cardboard box on it that says Vanagon in like 3-inch high letters on every side of it and on the top. And it has my address on it. Plus, on top of all of that, it has all of your scan cards all over it that tells you exactly what it is. So how could you not know where it is? But they lost that thing for several months. And finally, eventually, one day, they found it, and I got it. But by that point, I mean, people had been canceling stuff off of that. You know, again, I was expecting to get here in like 2 weeks, and when something doesn't show up for 2 months, yeah, people get whatever. People's vans, they sell their van, they die, you know, a lot can happen in 2 months, okay? The van gets in a car accident, all kinds of crazy stuff. All right, so that's my little thing about overseas, getting parts overseas. Is it worth it for the individual person? Most of the time, I would say no, okay? Instead, contact a vendor that you like, ask them if they can get it for you in a shipment that they're getting in. That's really the better way to do it. So that's it for this little thing about international shipping. Tell me what you guys think. Share your sob stories in the comments. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm sure I'll have people email me. I do it every day. It's super easy. It's just so convenient. Okay. I haven't really found that to be the case. But if that's if that's what you found, that's perfectly fine. Share that with us also. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next video.